All right. Well, welcome to Zoom version of Candler Yoga. It's really good to see you all. It makes me want to see you and hug you in person, but I'm glad that we can gather in this way. For today's class, I thought that we could talk a little bit first about what the meaning of yoga actually is, which means, if you translate it from its Sanskrit word, it means to yoke. We don't use that word a lot in our common language, but what it means is kind of the gathering or the joining of things together. So it's used even in the Bible about, Jesus talks about it. And we can talk about it with like joining or gathering animals together so that they're united and moving in the same direction. And I think that's really interesting that that is the core of what yoga is about, because we're trying to learn how to unite in our own purposes, unite in body, mind, and spirit. And so just as a reflection before we get started today, maybe thinking about where you're needing to find unity. And we try to do that in our classes when we think about uniting our thoughts, our words, and our actions, when we have that final meditation after each class. But maybe there's something in your life right now that you're thinking that you'd like to find a little bit more of that alignment with. Maybe it's through your words. It's been hard to always be gentle in our words right now when we're stressed or we're with the same people all the time. So maybe thinking about uniting your desires with your words, or with a particular thought, or just how you're living right now in this moment. And that's kind of what I wanted us to think about today. So let's find a comfortable seat and just take a few deep breaths. Maybe sit up nice and tall. You can just close your eyes, resting your palms for today face down on top of the knees, giving yourself this sense of groundedness. Just take a few moments to ask yourself where you're feeling disjointed, if there's places where you'd like to find a little bit more unity, maybe naming what those are. And if you're having a hard time thinking of that, maybe just come into the rhythm of the breath, feeling that rhythm of the breath coming easily in through the nose and out through the nose. Joining the breath to the body and the body to the mind. The breath can be a really good and important tool for finding that sense of oneness and connection in our practice. And so at any point, if you need to take a break in today's class and just sit and breathe, know that that's totally welcome. In your own time, you can go ahead and bow your head, drop your chin towards your chest. Really release the tension of the neck and do your best just to release any of those tight muscles. You can keep your eyes closed and just guide your left ear towards your left shoulder. Maybe feeling that stretch on the right side of the neck. If it feels right, you can even take those left fingertips and place them on the right temple just to guide the stretch a little bit deeper, dropping that right shoulder down towards the floor. When you're ready, you can release, drop back through center, and then maybe right ear towards right shoulder, If you want, lift right hand to those left temples and just gently pulling left shoulder, relax, opening up the left side of the neck. And then you can release, drop back through center. When you're ready, you can begin to lift your chin up towards the sky, look up, open up through the throat and through the front side of the body, and then maybe lift the arms up overhead. Stretch and lengthen here, long and tall, straight spine. And then exhale, right hand behind the back, gentle spinal twist, right hand to that, left hand to that right knee, and just look over the right shoulder. Inhale, reach and lengthen back through center, and exhale the opposite side. Inhale, reach and lengthen through center. Exhale, uncross and then recross the legs the opposite way. Coming forward, reaching out as far as you can. Fingertips come down, forehead comes down. Crawl the hands forward. Drop the forehead towards the floor. And slowly begin to walk your hands back up. We're going to roll over into the hands and the knees from here, coming into a tabletop position. Try your best to spread your fingers nice and wide, keeping the wrists underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. Inhale, drop the belly down, look up, kind of arching the back here. Exhale, drop the head down, and then round the spine, squeeze the core. You can look between the legs. So inhale, we'll look back up. And exhale, round. You can have your feet curled under if you'd like. I like to just rest the tops of my feet down as I go back and forth. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, rounding. But do what feels right for you. Maybe you want to bend the elbows a little bit. You can sway the hips side to side if that feels good. A few more rounds here. Great, let's come back to that neutral tabletop position. And we're going to take that left leg behind us. So just flex that left foot. You can point those left toes down. Squeeze the core. Do your best to keep your left leg parallel to the floor, and then reach that right arm forward. And try to have the thumb pointing up, pinky finger pointed down. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, bring the elbow and knee opposite sides together. Inhale, extend. And then exhale together, back and forth. Good. On this next one, hold that extension out nice and long. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring that right arm over towards the right side. Try to keep the right arm parallel to the floor. And then guide that left leg over towards the left. And you're just holding here. Keep breathing. Keep using that core, that center, to keep you balanced. One more inhale. I know it's a challenge. And then exhale, right hand comes down, but you're just dropping that left leg over towards the side. Great, from this position, curl under those right toes, and then we're just leaning back and forward a few times. Stretching through the spine, stretching through the hips. And then we'll begin to make a few circles here, so you can bend a little bit into that left knee and just circle your hips around, maybe starting in a clockwise direction. And then when you're back at the top, you can go ahead and reverse directions. Making this a fluid movement, not worrying too much about what it looks like, but just enjoying the flow. As you're ready, we'll come back through center. Use the strength of your core and your outer hip. Try to lift that left leg back up. Your right toes are still curled under. We're straightening that right leg, come into a three-legged dog. Great. Breathe here for a moment. Focus on getting those hips square to the mat and pressing that right heel down as you flatten the spine and bring that chest towards that right thigh. Look between the hands. We're going to bring that right knee in towards the chest and do our best to step, the left knee towards the chest. Do your best to step that left foot between the hands. Drop the right knee and inhale, sweep those arms up. So leaning into this low lunge, just relax the shoulders, maybe look up even. But make sure that left knee is staying either stacked on top or a little bit behind the ankle. But not forcing anything, especially as we're still warming up. As you're ready, hands travel back to the floor. We'll take a half split by straightening the left leg and flexing that left foot. Great time to utilize blocks if you have them at your home, or if you want to stack a couple of books. Water bottles could also be used under your hands as an option. Just elevating the floor closer to you if you feel like you're straining your low back to come down. As you're ready, bend back into that left knee, framing that foot with both hands. Inhale, right knee lifts. Exhale, downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, take a couple of deep breaths here. Great, and then as you're ready, come back through to plank. And you'll just drop the knees down, coming back to tabletop. We're moving to the opposite side now. So we're going to extend that right leg out, I think, and that left leg up. That left arm up. So point that fingertip up, that thumb up, extend through that back heel, reach and lengthen, and then elbow and knee together. Inhale, extend. Exhale together. Good. A few times here. Follow your breath. On this next one, we're going to hold that extension out long. Feel strong. Left arm out towards the side, and then right leg out towards the side. As you do that, try not to drop the foot, try not to drop the leg. Use the outer hip to lift that foot. One more inhale. Exhale, left hand comes back down, and right foot drops over towards the right side. Curl under those left toes, and then we're just swaying back and forward. The heel of the right foot should be in line with the right hip. You kind of check your alignment that way. And then if you want, you can take a deep bend or a little bend in the right knee and just begin to draw some circles. And then you can reverse the direction. We'll come back through center. Use the strength in the core and that outer hip. Inhale, lift up the right foot. Left toes are curled. You're straightening that left leg, coming to three-legged dog. So right foot lifts up behind you. Try to bring the left heel towards the mat, chest towards that left thigh, and lift up the right heel towards the sky. As you're ready, look between the hands, right knee in towards the chest, squeeze, and try to lightly step that foot between the hands at the top of the mat. We'll drop the left knee down, and as you're ready, take a big inhale, arms come up overhead. As you do so, you might be able to open the heart, maybe you look up and back. If that's too much, you just keep your gaze forward. But pinkies turn in towards each other to help guide the shoulders down the back. Couple breaths. One more inhale. And then exhale, hands meet the floor. Let's straighten the right leg on this side. Flex that right foot. Awaken the backs of the legs, hamstring, even the calf, you might feel it. As you're ready, we'll bend back into that right knee. We'll frame that foot with our hands. We'll lift that left knee off the mat, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Great job. From down dog, slowly walk your hands back towards your feet, coming into a forward facing fold with the back of your mat. Release the upper body over the legs, and begin to lean forward a little bit. So almost like your heels are about to lift off the floor. If you want, you can grab your elbows here, shake out your head, maybe sway back and forth. Forward bends like this are really good for taking some reflection and introspection, whereas back bends help us to open up towards others into the world. So as we're in forward bends like this, just take a moment to come back into that focus, that intention, thinking about those places where you're trying to find a joining, finding a unity, alignment. Fingertips back towards the floor. Inhale, lifting up halfway, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Sweep your arms all the way up, stacking the vertebrae one on top of each other. Palms touch overhead. Maybe take a slight back bend, and then hands through heart center. Inhale, let's reach and lengthen the spine. Imagine you're going to touch the ceiling. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Flat back, exhale, release. Slowly walk the hands back out, meeting in a plank position. So you're just walking the hands all the way forward until you get that back flat. Good. For just a moment, think about plank. Press that mat away. Bring the belly button up towards the spine. Inhale. On your exhale, lean forward slightly, elbows in tight beside the rib cage, and slowly lower all the way down. Tops of the feet come onto the mat. We'll slide our hands back slightly, and then inhale, come up for a back bend. Lift to the heart and look up towards the sky. And exhale, slowly release. Curl the toes back under, press back up, tabletop, plank pose, and then downward facing dog. Look between the hands, walk, step, or jump, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweeping all the way up. Take a little back bend if you'd like. And hands through heart center. Great job. Inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, grab a hold of that right wrist with the left hand and lean over towards the left side. Good. Imagine yourself growing taller here with your inhale and leaning forward more with your exhale. Keep breathing. Side body stretches are so important. Sometimes we forget that our bodies don't just go forward and back, they also go side to side. So do your best to incorporate those throughout the week. Inhale, lift and lengthen back to center. Exhale, grab a hold of the left wrist and lean over towards the right. And again, inhales make you longer and taller. Exhales help you fold deeper. Inhale, lift back through center. Exhale, dive down, swan dive, forward facing fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Bend your knees plenty here, hands on the mat, step back to plank. Lower through chaturanga. Inhale to any type of back bend you would like. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts, three-legged dog. Exhale, step that right foot between the hands. Drop the left knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center, and draw that left elbow to the outside of that right knee. So you're twisting towards the bent leg. Right, once you have that twist, guide the hands back to center, and you can look over that right shoulder. Inhale back through center. Exhale, half split, straighten that right leg. Inhale back through center. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, left foot between the hands. Drop the right knee. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hands through heart center and twist. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Hands to heart center and then look over that left shoulder. Inhale back through center. Exhale, hands come down. Step it back, downward facing dog. Once again, walk those hands back towards the feet. Forward facing fold to the back of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, halfway lift again. We're going to hold this half forward facing fold position. So what we're going to think about here is having this back really, really strong. So imagine you're creating a little table for someone to bear down on, that they're going to write on. You can either have your hands on blocks underneath you. Your hands can touch your fingertips if you want. If you're ready for a little bit more of a challenge, where your hands behind your head. Elbows spread out wide. And if that still feels good, then reach those arms out forward. Remember, you're still leaning that weight forward. You're not bearing into the heels here. You're actually more on the balls of the feet. Reach and lengthen. Keep that body, that upper body parallel to the floor. This always makes me start to sweat. It's harder than it looks. One more inhale. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, unwinds, reach all the way back up. Press those hips forward, open up the heart back bend, and then hands to heart center. Great job. Inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Slowly begin to walk your hands back out, meeting back into that plank position. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, the type of back bend you would like to do today. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts, three-legged. Exhale, right foot between the hands. You can drop the back knee as we did before if you would like. Otherwise, try your best to keep your left knee lifted as you inhale, sweep the arms up. So it's the same position. We still have a 90-degree angle in that right knee, but this time we're trying to straighten that left leg. Arms overhead. We'll take that same twist, exhale, hands through heart center, and left elbow on the outside of that right knee. Good. So to help keep your balance, you can think about squeezing those inner thighs together, lengthening through the spine. So we're not just collapsing over that right leg, we're lifting through the crown of the head and lengthening that spine. So think about the straight line from the top of the head to the back of that back heel. Great job. Inhale back through center. Exhale, hands to the floor. And if you need a break, you can drop to low lunge. Otherwise, bring all of your weight into that front foot and come into standing split. Forehead towards that right shin and lift those left toes up towards the sky. Good. Feel the stretch of the back side of that standing leg especially. As you're ready, look to the mat. Left foot meets the right. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Sweep those arms all the way up. If you want, take that little back bend and hands through heart center. Same thing, opposite side. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, let it go. Bend your knees, hands come down. Let's make our way back to plank. Lower through your back bend. If you find that chaturanga is too hard on your feet, you can drop to your knees here and do the same position. Wherever you're at, meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Exhale, left foot between the hands. You have options here. Either right knee comes down, or you try to keep that right leg straight. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Take a breath here, take a moment. As you're ready, we'll find that twist. Hands come to the heart. Right elbow to the outside of that left knee. Good. Then find that strong line from the crown of the head to the back of that right heel. It's okay if you wobble a little. It's just a reminder that you're building strength, resilience. As you're ready, inhale, untwist. Drop your hands down, either coming down for that low lunge for a rest, or lifting those right toes up, standing split. Forehead towards that left shin. Lengthen and strengthen. Surrendering the upper body as you use those legs to help you get deeper. As you're ready, look to the mat. Right foot meets left. Inhale, lifting up halfway. Exhale, releasing. Inhale, reverse swan dive, sweep all the way up. Take that little back bend. And hands through heart center. Great. Inhale, lift the hands overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Plant hands, flow through your vinyasa. Meeting in a downward facing dog. Inhale, we'll start with the left side this time. I have a habit of always starting with the right, so it's good to change it up every now and then. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, bend the left knee and stack the hips. So let's open up the hips this way by dropping the left knee to the right, and then just swinging it up and around a few times. We'll come back to three-legged dog. Look between the hands, left foot steps at top. Rotate the right heel down, parallel the short edge of the mat. Inhale, open up warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Try to get that left leg parallel to the floor, right leg straight. You're pressing the outer edge of that right foot into the mat. Left palm flips up, inhale, reverse, stretch through that left side body. Back to warrior two. Then extended side angle, forearm to thigh or hand towards the mat. And reach that right arm up and over, bicep beside the ear. Warrior two, reverse, warrior two, extended side angle. Let's do one more, warrior two, reverse, getting all those side stretches in today. Warrior two, extended side angle. As you're ready, we'll travel back to warrior two. We're just going to straighten that left leg in order to reach those left fingertips as far forward as we can and find our way into Trikonasana pose. So I like to bring my left hand to the outer edge of my leg, but if you can't reach all the way down, of course, you can put a book underneath your hand, or you can place your hand on top of your left shin. That's also an option. To engage more of your core, you can also have your left hand just floating. Fun little thing to try. Great, slowly inhale, lift back up. Great, cartwheel, hands down, and downward facing dog. Shake it out. When I do these little flows, I like to take a moment of pause in between sides and just notice the difference in the way my body feels on the right and the left. Inhale, right leg lifts up. Exhale, bend the right knee and stack the hips. Draw some hip circles, as big or as small as you would like. Come back to three-legged dog, inhale. Look between the hands, exhale, step that right foot. Spiral the left foot down, inhale, arms open up. Great. Clarify your foundation, make sure your feet are where they're supposed to be at, just for proper alignment. Right heel bisects the middle of the back foot. Right palm flips up, inhale, reverse. Lower body stays still, exactly where it's at. Back to warrior two. And then your version of extended side angle. Great. Let's just flow back and forth between these two postures a couple of times. Focus on that lateral stretch from the right and left. Last one here. We'll meet in warrior two, finding yourself to straighten that right leg. Inhale, reaching as far forward until you feel compression in that right hip, and then you can come into triangle pose. So again, right hand on right shin is totally fine. If you have the openness today, you can bring that right hand towards the floor. Good, ready. Inhale, we'll lift all the way back up. And this time, we're just gonna walk our feet in a little bit closer together. Still wider than the hips here. And we're gonna point the toes out, so heels in. So you're externally rotating the thighs and the knees. Big inhale, lift up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're coming into a deep squat here. So keep thinking about spreading the knees apart. You can even bring your hands to your thighs to help guide this motion a little bit, if that feels all right. But lengthen through the spine here. So we're not collapsing over. We're creating a lot of length. Hands can rest on the thighs. They can be on the hips, or they can be at heart center. Good. The more strength you build, the deeper you can bend, but not going deeper than our legs parallel to the floor. As you're ready, let's try to lift up that right heel. And we're going to just slowly go down and up for kind of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the right heel and lift that left heel up. I don't know if y'all can tell over here, but I'm literally shaking. So if you are, that's okay. Slowly drop down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop that heel down. This is when we get really fun. We're going to try to lift up both heels at the same time. And just a little press for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Heels come down, straighten the legs. Point the toes back in now, little pigeon toed. Hands to the hips. Inhale, heart up towards the sky. Exhale, fold forward, all the way down to the floor. If hands can touch the floor, maybe you use them to crawl behind you so fingertips can point towards the back of the room and draw the forehead closer to the mat. You can stay here in this deep, wide-legged fold, or you can come back with me for a twist. So we'll bring those hands back underneath the face, left hand underneath the nose. Inhale, reach the right arm up. I love this pose for helping me to lengthen through my spine, giving me good rotation through my shoulders. And then slowly release. Right hand where the left hand was, and inhale, lift that left arm up. Great, slowly release. Whichever foot is at the top of the mat, point it forward. Take a big step forward, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, reverse swan dive, sweep all the way up. Maybe take that back bend, look up and back. And then hands to heart center. We're going to do one balance challenge here, and then we're going to make it on our backs on the mat. So let's bring our heels directly underneath our hips, as close to that as we can make it today at least. We're going to take a big inhale, lift up, lengthen, think about that tall mountain pose, and then exhale, dive back down. From this forward folding position, bend your knees a little bit so you can get your chest to rest on your thighs. And then take your right hand and make a peace sign with those right fingers. And wrap those peace fingers around the right big toe. So you might just want to stay here and work on your flexibility even. You can begin to straighten the legs, drawing your head down. If you want to try balancing with me, what we're going to try to do is bring all of our weight into that left leg, making that our standing leg. And with the grip around that right toe, we're going to begin to stand. Slowly lifting that right leg up. So you might just be closer to the floor and you practice lifting it up a couple of inches and then you come back down. And that's perfectly fine. We have to get that muscle memory first anyways. But when and if you're ready, maybe left hand to the left hip to help keep you stable, you can lift all the way up. And you can just hang out here. This is hard in and of itself. If you want, you can try straightening that right leg. But if you begin to straighten it, check out your standing knee. Your standing knee is going to want to bend, and we want to do our best to keep that standing leg strong and straight. So wherever you're able to go today is perfectly fine. Great. We're going to try to come out of this the same way we came into it. So slowly lower back down. Release that foot and just shake it out. Opposite side, left peace fingers around that left big toe. Again, if you want to hang out in the forward fold, that's cool. Otherwise, maybe you just lift up that left foot a couple of inches, place it back down, building that strength and that muscle memory. Otherwise, right hand to the right hip, and you can slowly begin to stand. Bending that standing knee as you come up helps. But then once you come up to stand, try to straighten that right leg. Then and only then, when you have that standing leg straight, do you even attempt to straighten that front leg, okay? So there's always steps, places where we can do more. It's never winning. It's just trying something new. A couple more breaths. And then slowly, this is important, try to come out of the pose the same way you came into it, okay? Control going in is just as important as control going out. So slowly lower down, release it out. Good, and no fancy way, just come and find a seat. So if you wanna, those of you who are with kids, if you wanna occupy your kids for a while, do that pose where they have to hold their foot with their peace fingers. It's a really fun one to watch little kids do, especially. And it's hard for everyone usually. All right, feet to the top of the mat, slowly lower, one vertebrae at a time. Coming all the way down to the floor. We're going to do a reclined pigeon pose today by crossing that left ankle over the right thigh. You can stay here and gently press the left inner thigh away, or you can sneak your hands, one hand through that hole of the legs and the other hand around the right shin, and you can just pull the knees in towards the chest this way. And just slow down your breath, flexing that left foot to protect the knee. Doing the best to use more the strength of your biceps and not strain your neck or your shoulders here. Great, from this position, all we're gonna do is cross that left leg completely over the right leg. And bring our hands out to either side, and we're gonna let our knees fall over towards the right side as we just look over that left shoulder. It's okay if your knees don't touch all the way to the floor, but do your best to keep both shoulders on the floor. That's more important. Inhale, come back through center, and then exhale, unwind. Opposite side, right ankle on top of that left thigh. And you can press that right thigh away gently, or you can interlock the hands around the bent knee, around that left leg, and just draw the knees in towards the chest, releasing head, neck, and shoulders, and using more the strength of the biceps. And just take some deep breaths. As you're ready, right leg comes over the left, arms out to either side, knees fall over to the left side, and you can look over that right shoulder. And very slowly, knees back, your center. You can untwist the legs and just drop the heels to the floor, knees still bent. The last thing I'm gonna instruct us through before we come into final Shavasana is two different options of a back bend. We'll do bridge with an option to take a wheel pose. Back bends, of course, are so important for our spirits and opening ourselves up to each other, but they're also just important physically in this time where we're on computers a crazy amount and we need something to reverse all of that forward bending and forward looking. So we're going to open up in an opposite way. So try to get your knees in line with your heels here. The heels are pretty close to your body. You can brush the backs of them with your fingertips if you lengthen your arms out. Press the feet firmly into the mat. We're starting with bridge and we'll just lift the hip bones up towards the sky. Head, neck, and shoulders, tops of the shoulders are rested on the mat, but you're really using the strength of the legs to open up and crack open that heart. Hands can stay beside your body, or you can interlace the hands underneath the spine, using that as leverage to kind of roll over onto one shoulder than the other, expanding up through that chest a little bit more. Do a couple breaths here, really try to press those hips up. And then exhale, slowly release. You can unlock the fingers, come down one vertebrae at a time. So if you liked that pose, you can do bridge once again, just the same process. Or if you are comfortable with back bends and you want to try a deeper back bend, we can go through a wheel pose. But since I'm not there with you to help you, if you not feel comfortable doing this, I just recommend doing bridge again. If you want to try wheel, we'll bring those tops of the fingertips towards the shoulders here, elbows in the side and in towards the center of the body. Same first step, lift the hips up, but then you're going to bring the crown of the head to the top of the mat and begin to straighten the arms as you open up to the front side of the body. And just breathe here as best as you can in a back bend. And then very slowly back to the top of the head and then rolling all the way down. Great, we'll just let our knees fall from side to side a couple of times. And then if there's any other pose, posture, or stretch that you need to take, please do that at this point. Otherwise, you're welcome to find that place of final rest by extending those legs out long, arms out long and palms facing up beside the body. Maybe lifting the arms up and then pressing the fingertips closer towards the feet, just so you can release the shoulders down. Close your eyes. And come back to your breath. See if you can yoke or join that breath to the body and that body to the mind. Finding that sense of unity in this moment. If those thoughts try to distract you or pull you out from this place, you can just tell them thanks, but no thanks. In a sense, acknowledging them, but determining and deciding to come back to this moment, into this practice. We'll stay here for a few moments of silence before we end our time together. As you're ready, begin to bring your awareness back into the space that you're in. Hearing any sounds around you, feeling the temperature of the air, the feeling of whatever you're laying on. You can welcome some movements back to your body, wiggling fingers and toes, rolling around the joints. Your next big inhale can lift your arms overhead, stretch long and tall. On your out breath, guiding your knees into your chest, give yourself a squeeze, a little hug, before rolling over onto either side and pausing there. Soaking up any reflections you've had. And then as you're ready, coming to find a comfortable seat, sitting up tall. Eyes remaining closed, or you can close them again whenever you get there. Together, let's take another deep breath. Arms lift up overhead. Lengthen the spine, palms touch, and then exhale, lower the hands, pausing over the forehead. That reminder to have kind thoughts. To the mouth, gentle words, and to the heart, pure intention. Namaste.